Is it possible that Plankton murdered every whale in Bikini Bottom? When I started connecting some dots surrounding Pearl and a few others being the only whales we see throughout the show, combine that with Plankton's relationship with Pearl and the secret ingredient to his chum, a side of Plankton opens up that shows us he could actually be killing off all the whales, not only because he's scared, but also so he can continue producing more chum. Now before I start the video, I just want to say that I did a collab with Matt Neffs for the 50th episode of FUDW where we tear into some of the worst episodes of Arthur. Go watch that video, I'll leave a link in the description, and subscribe to Matt Neffs' channel. Also, I started a Spanish channel just like this one, so if you'd prefer to watch these videos but in Spanish, or if you know anyone that might enjoy them, there will be a link in the description for that as well. The episode 1 course meal. It's the first time Pearl and Plankton meet. It kicks off with Mr. Krabs chilling in a bath of money when suddenly the sense of something burning hits him. Turns out it's Plankton attempting to blow up the Krusty Krab. After successfully kidnapping both Spongebob and Krabs, you'd think Plankton finally got the secret formula. But no, Pearl walks in asking for money, like always, and this is when we find Plankton's biggest fear. Whales. Now things get pretty dark for a SpongeBob episode. Mr. Krabs finds out about this phobia and decides to exploit it. He even goes as far as dressing up as Pearl to scare him. For 2 weeks straight, this dude is tormented with visions of Pearl, again, it's Mr. Krabs, hunting him down. Karen tells him he's just seeing things, but it ended up leading to nightmares where he's devoured by a demonic version of Pearl along with his ancestors. Like, bruh. He gets so traumatized that eventually he just lays down on the road hoping to get run over by a bus. I mean, bro was really trying to take... Anyways. Cetaphobia is essentially the fear of whales. It's kind of like how some people are afraid of spiders or heights, but in this case, it is whales that set off their anxiety, which if it's not obvious by now, it's exactly what Plankton has. This phobia can be triggered by seeing whales in person, like in our case as humans, if you're out on a boat or at the aquarium, but it can also kick in just from seeing pictures or videos of whales, or even from thinking about them. For Plankton, it goes as far as being his biggest fear. See, one time Plankton was chilling watching a horror movie on Karen's screen, when he gets the brilliant idea of turning himself into a ghost to float into the Krusty Krab and snag the secret formula. Now I'm not gonna lie, this idea is pretty genius. So he whips up a ghost extracting machine and turns himself into a ghost. And yeah, it's cool because he can walk through walls, but at the same time, he can't grab anything. This makes it literally impossible for him to steal the formula. But then in comes the Flying Dutchman, laughing his socks off at Plankton's rookie mistake. See, Plankton didn't know this, but as a ghost, you apparently have to learn things. So he starts schooling him on ghost basics, like picking stuff up, which apparently requires some ghost finesse. But the first thing he wanted to start out teaching him was the art of shapeshifting. The Flying Dutchman demonstrates by transforming into various things that don't seem to faze Plankton. But the moment that he transforms into a monstrous version of Pearl, Plankton totally freaks out. Now when he sees her in person later on in the future, he still can't find a way to break this fear out of whales. See, Karen, while heading out to visit her motherboard, leaves Plankton in charge of the chum bucket. Now Karen did put up flyers looking for an intern to take her place while she was gone, and after a bunch of people bail because of the awful pay, and Patrick wreaks havoc with Plankton's Duplo maker creating an army of himself, Plankton is left internless and frustrated. And just when Plankton thinks it can't get any worse, in walks Pearl, looking for an internship. And dude, Plankton is like a cartoon representation of Cetaphobia. I mean, this guy is absolutely terrified, thinking Pearl, being a whale and all, might be there to eat him. Bro scrambles to his desk, and even his eyes turn into an image of a real-life whale as Pearl approaches him. Okay, but why is he so scared of whales? Well, remember how earlier I mentioned that Plankton's whale paranoia led to nightmares where he was devoured by Pearl and found his ancestors in her stomach? Well, one thing I left out is if we actually go back to the beginning of the episode 1 course meal, Karen is confused, like, dude, why are you so scared of whales? And this is when Plankton reminds her of what happened to his ancestors, and it pretty much shows us how they all got eaten by a whale. Now, I have dived pretty deep into whales before on the channel when we looked at who Pearl's real parents could have been, and the main thing I found was the lack of whales in the show itself. Like I mentioned before, this could be intended so the diverse cast of characters can be unique, but I'm like 100% sure it's something a lot darker than that. Like maybe Plankton is kidnapping all the whales in the show, leaving only the ones that are criminals just to make them look that much worse than him. I mean, after all, he did try giving everyone in town jerktonium just so everyone could become jerks and he could seem nicer in Santa's eyes. And I mean, that worked, so why wouldn't this? Okay, but we actually saw Plankton making the jerktonium. I mean, there was a whole episode about this. But what if I told you there's an episode where Plankton confirms that chum is made from whales? A few weeks ago, I posted a video called the Chum Theory where we went over the fact that Plankton is killing off fish in the show and feeding them to the residents of Bikini Bottom. We looked over the friend or foe episode where we learned that Plankton and Mr. Krabs were actually best friends and were gonna do business together until they argued and fought over the recipe, leaving Plankton with just a pinch of chum. And I also brought up this fish named Nat, who Karen was actually paying on the side to eat chum, and talked about how his species can't even eat fish and that's why he got sick. But here's the thing, the Chum Theory was just a theory, and after doing a bunch more research and watching a ton of more episodes, I came to a conclusion that Plankton's not just only killing the fish in the show, but he has also done the same with whales. See, in this episode, Plankton reveals it all. In his never-ending quest to outdo Mr. Krabs, he demolishes the chum bucket to set up this huge over-the-top coliseum. It's a total spoof of these ancient Roman arenas, but anyways, Plankton's all decked out like he's the emperor, promising everyone free entertainment with guts and glory. The twist comes when everyone ditches the Krusty Krab to check out Plankton's spectacle. Mr. Krabs, Spongebob, and pretty much everyone else in Bikini Bottom decide to see what the fuss is about and end up witnessing this intense scene where a lionfish is released to battle in the arena, and the gladiator facing off against the lionfish being Patrick. Now, here's the most important part of this episode. While all of this is going on, Plankton is trying to capitalize on the hungry audience by selling them chum sticks. But when one of the spectators loses it at the $10 price tag, especially when a Krabby Patties are only $1, Plankton says nah, cause he's like, yo, y'all are also getting this unique entertainment value out of it, so yeah. This leads the spectator to sadly buy it, which by Plankton's own admission is made by some pretty nasty stuff, including whale blubber.
What was in that?
Oh, just the usual ingredients. Some jellyfish squeezings, whale blubber.
Now, historically, whale blubber has been used in various stuff, including as a source of oil for lamps and even soap. But in the case of chum, it is used to attract fish or other marine animals for the purpose of fishing or research. However, the use of whale blubber can get pretty complicated when you consider local regulations and international agreements that protect whale populations. Cause whales, or just as an example in Pearl's case, sperm whales, although they aren't at the brink of being extinct, they do face a high risk of it in the near future, so finding whale blubber in chum is not as common as you think. But in Plankton's case, he is single-handedly lowering the population of whales. Like, I get it, he literally hired a hitman to kill SpongeBob and Patrick, but killing off every whale in the show? Bro, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about this theory, even though this isn't even a theory, cause Plankton literally admitted to it. Also, don't forget to check out the collab video I did with Matt Neffs and the Spanish channel if you prefer to watch these videos in Spanish. Both links are gonna be in the description.